Hey everyone, hope your day's going well. I've got this paddle board here that I gotta get out of the way. So, what I've come up with is one of those double hoists where you got the one rope and you just pull it up. So, what I'm gonna do is get it right in between this rack and that rack. So, have it that way it doesn't block my lights, and then otherwise, just kind of keeps it out of the way. So, it comes in this little box. I'll show you, how to put it together, what all tools you need, and then how to actually mount something up. I've used this in the past. I have one of these that's been holding a kayak of mine in the air for literally like 10 years. So, pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and get this set up. Okay, so aside from the two wood screws they give you to put your rope, like lock collar on the wall, you've got these 4 lag bolts that fits a 7/16, but honestly I think it's an 11 as well, depending on what your set has, which it probably doesn't have an 11, it probably has a 7/16, but that's a good fit. 17 millimeter fits this bolt, as well as the nylon lock washer, and then, I got a wrench to hold the other side to tighten that up. So again, our lags are where it's going to hold that bracket in the ceiling, and then the bolts going to, actually attach it all together, but I'll show you how that goes. Okay, so we got the paddleboard, and basically I'm about, 30% in. I'll go 30% in over there, mark my ceiling. I got my stud finder here. If you don't have one of these, you can use, like a hammer or something to listen for the different pitch, and then, just fire until you're able to hear it. But I would suggest probably picking up one of these. That way you at least have a rough idea where your studs are. Okay, so I got my 7/16 bit. I got this bracket here that's open, and I got 2 of those lag bolts. Now, what I've done is I've marked, let me get it pulled back here, 2 spots. So this is where my stud finder picked up, and this is where it dropped off and then picked up again. So I'm going to shoot dead center and hope that I can trust it. If you're anything like me, most things, don't quite work quite as exact. So we work in the gray area. But anyways, I'm going to drive these in, let you know how it goes. Okay, sure enough, that was cool. Got that snugged up in there. Probably wouldn't hang on that, but it's at least up. Now I'm gonna go ahead and assemble the rest of this bracket, and then move on to that one, so at least I got my ladder in the right spot. Okay, I've got the brake part closer to where I'm gonna have my little anchor cleat installed. So anyways, that's how the bolt's looking when they go through. Same thing right there. Okay, I feel like I've kind of gotten involved here. Let's zoom in on our camera. So you got 2 rollers up there. Over there, you've got 1. And then, on your subsequent, let's call these your hangers, we've got 1. So what I did, and this worked really well, I got it the first time, which says a lot, is I took one end of the rope, I went on the right side, and then I immediately came down, so you can see right there. Follow down here. I go through my roller, back up, and then I tie it off on this rope here. So just like the instructions say, tie a knot, and you can see the stub end sticking out there. Now, the other end of your rope that's, already cut, whatever, take that and go through your left side. Obviously, this depends on your orientation, but, keep a direction. And then take that, run over your roller, go through the bottom side of your bracket, right here, right under it, and then you're going to connect over here on that roller, go down, and then come down to this. Once you get to that hanger, you send it right back up, and then you're going to tie it off right there. There's a dog. Anyway, sorry about the zooming and panning. It's hard to explain this. But anyways, doing that, tying that knot off there works. And then I just had to jump up and grab this because our ceilings are, 10 feet tall, 11 feet tall, something like that. So made it a little involved. Now, when I go to pull this, it's fighting itself because it's off center. So what I'm going to do here is move this paddleboard real quick, and then I'll show you how it raises. Okay, so right now I'm demonstrating the brake. And this is right after I told you I was going to raise it. Anyways, what you do is you got your 2 ropes and you pull down, keep tension with one, drop the other. Kind of like that. So now we're right here. I can put my pump on it. You could probably sit on this if you were crazy, but I don't know if I'd trust the weight and balance of this. But anyways, I'll show you how you raise it real quick. And otherwise, if you've got questions, put them in the comments. I tried to make sense. This didn't take me very long to do. The instructions were decent. This routing of the ropes gets a little interesting. And then otherwise this crap, I mean, you got to figure it out. I didn't really have any spacing issues, but it's pretty snug in there. So I'm gonna lower it down completely. Obviously, if what you got weighs a bit, I would be careful doing this. But all right, now we want to go up. So I'm just pulling. Obviously, you're pulling the weight of it. I don't know if these pulleys have any kind of like a reduction value to them, but this isn't bad. And I was wrong. Those aren't T25. They're just big Phillips. So you're kind of just wrapping this like you would a boat. So get your cleat on there, and then whatever you do with the excess is up to you. I'm just going to keep it in case I try to put this out in the shop or something. But honestly, you kind of need all of it.